Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Racing Social Up Cheltenham Festival preview. We are on the final day. I hope you enjoyed day 1, 2, and 3. It's been fast and furious, and there's been loads out there, but hopefully ours is the best and provided you with plenty of winners. As you can see, Dawn is back, and we are back with Jay Dutton and Matty Ingle. Lads, good to see you. Jay, starting with you. Look forward to next week.
Yeah, I can't wait. Just need to get to Tuesday now. Monday night's going to be a very, very long night.
yeah. Matty, how's things with you? How's the yard going at the minute?
Yeah, all good. Looking forward to next week. I think we've got 10 or 11 intended runners. This week will probably drag, and then Ben will start getting a bit twitchy Saturday afternoon onto Monday, and you stay well clear of the boss then for the week. And fingers crossed we have a winner. Anything else is, a bonus.
Good stuff. And Dawn, final day. We've done 4 of these now. On your last legs.
Last legs, Joe, but like a good bit of electrolytes and everything else into me, and I'll be raring to go come Tuesday. I just don't want to do a Dysart Dynamo and run my race before it's actually happened. But no, look, it's brilliant, and I don't think I've been this excited in a long time. So yeah, and Patrick's Day, to cover Patrick's Day, Gold Cup Day. It's going to be some day, and we're going to absolutely destroy the place, I'd say. Destroy it.
And I understand, Jay, you're there Tuesday, and you are Matty as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a bit like the Tuesday last year, Jay, when we actually met in person for the first time, and the main man did the business on that day as well, didn't he?
And we ended up on ITV with Constitutional that day, Joe.
Yeah, that's it. And hopefully he's going to do a bit, well, he will do the business again, won't he?
Definitely, 100%.
Anyway, this is Gold Cup Day, so we'll get stuck into the action. Triumph Hurdle. I don't mean to be a killjoy, but this is probably the grade 1 that, I don't know, I'm not really that excited about it, and I'm a bit miffed by it all, to be fair. It doesn't really get me going. What about you, Jay? How do you feel the Triumph Hurdle is this year?
I think there's a lot of talk around Lossiemouth. Obviously, before she ran over here, she come with a bit of a reputation. I think she was all probably early season favourite for the Triumph before she'd even ran. The fact she was so unlucky at Dublin Racing Festival, which there's no two ways about it, she was unlucky on more than one occasion. I think that's what's drawing people into it. But I think at the same time, they're forgetting about Blood Destiny. I think Blood Destiny is a much better horse than she is. Yeah, he'll have to give a weight and stuff like that for being a mare. But if you just look at what this horse has done, like he was beaten in France by Beau Zenith, who obviously come to Gary Moore's a bit of a reputation. He hasn't really done much since he's been over here, Beau Zenith, and I think he's going to go to Aintree. But if you watch that race back in France, Beau Zenith, he had so much ground in the straight to make up on him, and he was eating into that ground the whole time. And then on his debut over in Ireland for Mullins, he absolutely bolted up, beating Sir Alan. And he's still the only horse that beats Sir Alan, and Sir Alan the single figure price for the Boodles.
Yeah.
I really liked with that first race, the more the race went on, the better the jumping was getting, the more confidence he was getting. And then the second race he had, he just, again, 18 lengths, he beat Nusrat, is it Dawn?
Nusrat, yeah.
Yeah, and then he's obviously come over here and laughed at the English juveniles, which doesn't say much, but the fact he can do that to a horse over there, then that can come over here and do that to the English horses says a lot about him. And I think he's an absolutely relentless galloper. I think he's made for the Triumph Hurdle, this horse. I just think streetwise as well, I think he's more there than some of them. Like there will be no hard luck stories with him. He wouldn't put himself in a position to be like relying on others to underperform and stuff. I think he's 100% the one to beat. And looking at the exchanges recently, people are thinking Paul Tarnan's made this choice, but if I'm Paul Tarnan, I'm riding Blood Destiny every day of the week.
Yeah, I'm with you, but Blood Destiny, to be fair, I think he's the price. He would be a lot shorter if he had grade 1 form. Lossiemouth comes in with the grade 1 form, but that's not the horse's fault. It's just the way he's been campaigned, isn't it? To keep split them up.
I actually think that might be a little bit of a positive, Joe, because if you look at that Dublin Racing Festival, how many horses Mullins threw at that, he did throw a few at it. I think he ran 4 or 5 in it, didn't he, out of the 7 runners? There was never really no intention of running this horse, so he probably thinks that he doesn't need no more experience. He'll probably give him an easy time, build him up for Cheltenham. And I think that in itself probably shows the confidence he's got in the horse as well.
Yeah, I agree there. Matty, are you with the Mullins pair, either of them?
Yeah, I'm with Lossiemouth. I've been nothing but impressed with her since since she come out from France. As Jay said, she was unlucky to get beat at Dublin Race Festival, but I don't think obviously Paul gave her the best of rides that day. Obviously, Willie Mullins has said that he was worried that she had a hard race when she didn't really need to. But I think getting £7 off Blood Destiny, I always think she's a good thing. Because if she won at Dublin Racing Festival, she'd be odds on. I think she'll have too much for Blood Destiny and anything else in the race, especially getting £7. We actually run Active Duty in the race. He's probably about 100 to 1. He was 4th in the trial on trials day, I think it was. He actually ran really well that day. Listen, I'm not saying he's got any chance whatsoever, but he might just hold his own for a long way because we think he's better than he is.
Yeah,
he's shown so far. You've got Mark 117, so he's not good enough to get into the Boodles, which mean he's got no chance of the Triumph. But he will actually hold his own for a long way. So I don't know, to run into a place, if you can get 5-6 places on the day, shorter prices, whatever, he might be worth £1 each way, 100, 150 to 1.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting to hear. And Dawn, the colours you're dressed in tonight, I presume that's for Lossiemouth and not Shackle Forcewild winning the Stayers the day before, I assume.
Oh, well, get ready to see these colours if Shakon actually pulls it out of the bag and, haunts you for the rest of your life, Joe. But no, I'm in Rich Ritchie's colours for 2 ladies, 2 beautiful ladies. And Lossiemouth, Ian Kellett, he's 30 years out of Scotland. He's the part breeder of Lossiemouth, and he said she is a life changer for him, a life changer. And he doesn't say that lightly. And that day at Otay, she made a couple of mistakes. And funnily enough, the day she ran at Otay, so did Bo Zenith and Blood Destiny. So they were all running. Talk about serendipity. And he said, thank God he didn't let her go at the Equana sales for 14,000, that the phone blew up after her win at Otay. Now, Danny Mullins did his tote diary a couple of days before Fairy House when she hacked up, and she was so impressive at 3 to 1. She's an absolute gorgeous little unicorn. The argument is that it's been over the last 23 years, there's only been 2 winners, 2 female winners. Fair, okay. But I'm kind of going to go with the Apples Jade thought process here, because I've also stuck into Churchill Boys each way, and Comfort Zone to me is a worth an each way play I've banged on about. And now, if you remember, Apples Jade was to win the Triumph a couple of years ago, and who came along? Irving of Joseph O'Brien's. Okay, so should Lossiemouth be bet? Who's to say she's not going to do an Apples Jade in one of the best mares races I have ever seen in my life next year? But I am so bullish about Lossiemouth. Now, I'm more Poundland than Paul Townsend. And if he gets on Blood Destiny, I know he'll be on Lossiemouth, and that'll be Danny Mullins. And Danny Mullins was leading jockey at the Dublin Racing Festival for a reason. He is so good. And him and Lossiemouth together, it would just be heaven on earth. She's 13 to 8, but I just think she's the out and out winner. That at Dublin Racing Festival, I know Willie was very, very annoyed, and it kind of made every piece of media going. And I remember many years ago myself, and again, I say I'm more Poundland than Townsend, but I made a mistake on a filly, and the trainer kind of lambasted me too. And I can see his point where you go, you could ruin a young filly like that, but I don't think she's ruined at all. I think she's the Triumph Hurdle winner, and I think Comfort Zone with what he's done. I mean, he's been to Cheltenham, he's bet Perseus Way, he has been over across the pond after Christmas, was it at Shepstow as well, and he hacked up. So I think he's worth an each way play at 8 to 1. Scriptwriter's gone out to 28. I wouldn't leave him alone either, because weight sunk him the other day. But I'm in her colours. I love unicorns. Danny gets up or Paul gets up. Either way, she wins. Blood Destiny, we don't know enough about him. He's to be a chaser and nothing has eyeballed him yet. And I wonder if something does come to eyeball him. Like one of these lovely girls, it could be Galamarku as well. But I think Lossiemouth eyeballs him. She's gone. She's gone and you won't catch her. And she's related to the amazing and the wonderful Lord Glitters. So wouldn't it even be nicer? So Lossiemouth all day.
Does anyone know if that nut job Jupiter de Geet's going to run? No, the one who beat Jet Powered.
Yeah,
and then
I haven't heard anything. He's got a bit quiet, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But that'll be some fractions of that runs.
He's still in the entries anyway.
Work out at all after that. Obviously, Jet Powered didn't do much after. Did anything else come out and win? Or
no, I don't think so. He ran on trials day, didn't he? But he ran his race on the back straight.
Yeah. I think a horse like that's probably not really suited to Cheltenham, are they?
No. And what about interested in Jagard? Hasn't ran for Willie Mullins yet. Donnelly horse.
Seen that? I was looking at that today. He's only 33 to 1 as well, isn't he? I think he's done the same with Horten Colours in this, didn't he? First time out. I was
going to say that exactly.
Yeah.
Same colours. She's a grey filly, so she gets the allowances. It's just quite interesting if she does line up. Don't you think? Like you say, with Hat on Colours. I think what was he? Fourth, third, wasn't he?
Third.
Third.
Yeah.
That was his first run in this country as well. So yeah, just interesting one to keep an eye on, isn't it? He's a lot because she's a lot shorter than a lot of the other Willie Mullins entries. You notice the ones who have run.
Yeah, the others like 66 to 1. I thought they're probably just playing it safe, keeping that 33s with the unknown. But until I seen that in the entries, like I'd never even heard of the horse.
No. Interesting when she does line up. So you got 2 in Lossiemouth and 2 Blood Destiny. So straight up match for the podcast in the first race. Second race, County Hurdle. A nice easy handicap for you, Jay. Come on.
I actually think this really is an easy race, but it just all depends on whether the horse I want to back's going to win. Going to run.
Go on then.
Sharjah.
Yeah.
I think obviously Mullins is no stranger to these classy types winning this race on the big weights. He's obviously Wicklow Brave. He done it with as well, and he's done it with a couple. But the handicap's been changed now, obviously with Stateman winning it last year, so we can get more of an assessment of these horses needing the 4 runs. But on the other end of the scale, for Stateman, I still think he's running a Grade 1 horse in the handicap who's on his way down. He's rated 155. He's had Patrick Mullins on him last twice, and obviously Patrick ride him quite a bit. He didn't give him the best of ride the last day. I still would have liked to see him win, but as things have happened, he's landed here on 155. And just to put that into context, Letty Thompson's also rated 155 in this, and he's obviously going to go the supreme. He's coming here on the back of a Grade 1 win last time, beating Facile Vega. But for me, there's no doubt in my mind, both of them 155 horse. I'll be with Sharjah every day of the week. I'd like to see Paul Tarnan ride him, to be honest. I think if Patrick ride him, wouldn't be so keen. His jumping's got a little bit of pot recently as well, but you've got to remember this is a horse who's come second in 2 champion hurdles and not that long ago. I think he'd take some stopping here if he was on a going day off 155. If he was to run here, he's got a great chance. I don't see the point in him running a champion hurdle to come 4th or 5th, and then he's got no chance whatsoever of even running the 3 mile at the Stayers hurdle, never mind winning that. So makes sense to come here with a live chance. I don't see really what else Mullins has got with a chance in this. So yeah, just give him a go in this. You go there with a live chance.
Yeah, I can definitely see that angle. I didn't really look at it myself, but you've sold it to me. But Dawn, obviously you were racing Sunday. Was there much talk about Phil Dudaris? Does he head here? Do you know?
I think he does, Joe, as far as I know. I'm not sure who I have in this. I marked up, and he's who bet Saja the other day at the Wren Mills Day, Phil Dorr. But supposedly he is Aintree bound. So it's a kind of a playing the waiting game, and it's Sunday, isn't it? They have to declare. I think it's Sunday, is it? But I'm not 100% sure. Phil Dairies. I heard very little as to whether he will or he won't. I mean, it was great to see him back. You know, Davy Fresh back again, and him back and coming out of Nicky's and doing that. And I didn't want to look past St. Sam, but God, he was good. He was really, really good. I see Pied Piper is in here too. So that kind of knocks my, the champ at 66-1 out the window. But what I've gone for here, I've actually gone for an English horse. Don't die of shock. By Blue Brazil. So we're going Con Hill, pedigree again. Pembroke, Dan Skelton, 8-1. I really, 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 really like him. His first bit of form, well, originally he was a point-to-pointer, and Mikey O'Sullivan won on him. So that's something to go by anyway. When he won at Huntington, he bet Give Us a Cuddle. Give Us a Cuddle only won at Doncaster 38 days ago. Second in the Ballymore Novice in January to Rock My Way. Rock My Way is 16-1 for the Albert Bartlett. I hadn't even looked at Rock My Way, but he made me look at Rock My Way. 16th Lent win at Ludlow in December and won a novice ahead of Magic Wave. He looks like the one for me. You've got a bit of Timoris, call him what you like us. He was 7 to him, and Timoris has gone on and won twice since. So to me, he's carrying 10-7. I want a bit of aeroplane action. Pembroke for me. Pied Piper goes in here at 16-1. I'll have a little fiddle. Phil Dorr. I don't know what Phil Dairies, if he does run, would I want him that quick off? Maybe not. I don't think I would. So yeah, Pembroke for me. Okay,
scouting horse for Dawn. Oh, the one I find quite interesting, looking back at last year's race, is Ballyadam. 5th in the race last year. He is £4 higher this year. That was mainly down to his third behind Gaelic Warrior. I think they hammered him for it, but he definitely wouldn't be out of chance. He's on his day. He's a pretty good horse, and 25-1. I think if you can get 25-20 on the day still next week, then that's a massive each way price. Matty, anything to take you on the county?
I've actually agree with you there, Joe. Ballyadam. When he was running in bumpers, he was the next coming of Jesus Christ at one point. He obviously thought the absolute world of him. As you said, he's 5th in the race last year. He won't mind a hustle and bustle with a county hurdle or anything like that. He'll be used to it. I think 25-1, if you get that in the day, it's definitely worse in each way, but I totally agree with you there. I don't know what Hunter's Yarn's doing.
So Willie Mullins, he doesn't know what he's doing.
It's supposedly the Supreme, but the other night at the preview I was at, Matty, they were kind of saying he's not quick enough, they don't think, for the Supreme either, but he's somewhere else in this on Friday too.
I just think whatever he runs in is off 147. I think if he runs in a handicap, I just think it absolutely stinks of a galloping to Champ and State man.
Yeah.
I actually think he's probably is a Grade 1 horse in a handicap. Whether he goes to the county or I don't know if he's in the Martin Pipe or whatever he's in, I think he could pick up a nice handicap. So if he runs in the county, I think 147 could be a gift. I think it probably is the Willie Mullins horse. It's a genuine Grade 1 horse in the future in a handicap. But yeah, I agree with Joe with Ballyadam as well.
Okay. Looking further down, I've mentioned him every night of this preview. Next Destination's got an entry in this 739-day layoff. He's literally entered in about 3 races every single day. But I'd much prefer him teaming the Kim Muir or something like that than this. So the Albert Bartlett now, Dawn. Albert Bartlett, first for you, what you got?
I've been banging on about him, Joe. Corbett's Cross. JP has been spending that money again, honey, and it's an undisclosed figure, so it must have been too good to say no to, because he was bought at Cheltenham Festival sales last year for 95 grand. So are we going to double that or treble it or whatever? But yeah, really good horse. Originally with Eugene O'Sullivan, Maxine and Mikey O'Sullivan's dad. He won 2 for him. He was so damn impressive 9 days ago when he bet Found a 50. And no one wanted to look past Found a 50, but he was so good. He's by the same sire as Road to Riches, Noel Mead's good old horse. And Gamut, I seen the stallion last year. He lives very, very close to the Galway races, and he's a bit of a dude. So it's great to see that stallion, who used to be in Sir Michael Stouts, and my uncle was his vet. So I've got a bit of an emotional attachment too, and I can understand why he's gone into favourite now. He was 6-1 when I was leaving Nace. He's into 7-2. When I heard that JP has spent that money, at a bigger price, Dawn Rising. And you know why I'm going to go Dawn Rising? Because you've got that Champ Kylie form. You've got the Galway form back in July, where I said everything nearly that came behind or fell behind Champ Kylie went on and won some type of race. I love the fact he's half brother to Sovereign, who won an Irish Derby. Yeah, he went off favourite at Galway, and you could see why he was favourite, and they were going to put him into an Irish St. Ledger. He was going to go against Kyprius. That never happened. So then he went on to Listowel and he won his maiden by 8.5 lengths. And then he beat American Mike at Navan. And the way he came back Lawler's Day at Nace behind Champ Kylie and Irish Point, like he fought for that third. He fought for it. And if he fights and grinds the way he did Lawler's Day, he could come close to the money at 16-1. But there, I'm going with 2 JPs. A bit of Dawn Rising. I gave Angel's Dawn yesterday. We all have to have a bit of Dawn after the Dawn run. Cheltenham, success. But Corbett's Cross looks the out-and-out winner to me. I'd love it on a personal level and a professional level. But Dawn Rising, again, a nice each-way play.
Yeah, I'm with you on Dawn Rising. I think he's a solid bet. I think yet to run over 3 miles, but he's a grinder. And Albert Bartlett is all about the grinding. Obviously, you do get the odd yellow for Vanillier where something just goes and absolutely hacks up. But this year does look like it's going to be a proper test. Jay, you had much luck in the Bartlett over the last few years?
Never ever had luck in this race, Joe, to be honest. That might have changed last year. That Ginto not went wrong inside the final furlong or so. This year, though, this race looked very, very, very competitive. So many good horses. We've actually got Embassy Gardens anti-both for this 33-1. He's about 5-1 now. But as it happens, I also think he's probably one of the worst price horses of the week. I think he should be about 11-12-1. No way he should be that short, I'm being totally honest. I do think the most likely winner this year it will be 3-Car Bragg, even despite the fact he'll have to carry Adrian Hescom now with him for 3 miles. Gordon's never won this race either, but that's got to change sometime soon. And I really like this horse's form, especially when he was beat by In the Pocket. I think that In the Pocket's a really good horse, and it's just so obvious he's a 3-miler who's never been over 3 miles, and I just think he'll excel when he gets to it. He's being outstaying horses over shorter distances, and any rain that comes for him is only going to be a bonus. And his price has got a little bit shorter in recent times, but I think that's now more to the fact you've committed and said he'll be running the Albert Bartlett and won't be going for the Martin Pipe. But yeah, he'd be my ideal Albert Bartlett winner anyway.
Okay, yeah. Matty, what about you?
It's not a race I like. I've led up in the race, and it's just one of these races that I don't think really the winners ever train on. It's a grueling race, a 3-mile novice, grade 1 round Cheltenham. It ruins horses. The one I've picked to come up with is Cool Survivor. He ran a great race last time out behind Goodland in a grade 1. He was held up and stayed on, and that was over 2.6. I think a stiff 3 miles around Cheltenham was going to suit him down to the ground. But it's not a race that I like at all, really. Probably won't even have a bet in the race, to be honest.
No,
read somewhere, Matty. I think he goes for the Martin Pipe instead. I might be wrong on that, but
well, I think in my opinion, I think 3-Car Bragg should go for the Martin Pipe, and I think Cool Survivor should go for Albert Bartlett, because I running a horse over 2.5 in a Martin Pipe, on a horse that was finished fourth in a Grade 1 last time, staying on, never near a fourth over 2-6. I just think a stiff 3 miles crying out for Cool Survivor, to be honest.
To be fair, I agree with you there about 3-card Bragg. If he went for the Martin Pipe, at least he wouldn't have Heskin riding him.
Well, exactly. And he 142 looks like a nice weight for that.
Difficult race, but like you say, bit of a grinder. I'm quite happy with Dawn Rising. Main event of the day, the Gold Cup. I've got a funny feeling here. We're probably going to have 4 different selections here. I'm interested to what Jay's got to say about the favourite shortly. But Matty, Gold Cup. Will Galopin Des Champs stay the trip?
He might stay the trip, but he won't win the race.
Okay. If he doesn't win the race, who does?
I just can't see how anyone can go against that Plutar. I literally just you put a line through Haydock, and he'll be joint favourite. Simple.
I've never seen a horse sprint away from a Gold Cup field like he did last year, I must admit.
And there was a previous Gold Cup winner in second as well.
Yeah.
So I just don't. I actually backed at Plutar about a week after the Betfair Chase. Was the Betfair Chase run? Yeah. Yeah. He drifted like mad. Drifted out to about 16s, and I just thought it was ludicrous. Although he hasn't had a run and what have you, but Henry wouldn't be sending him here if he wasn't ready to go.
Right.
And I just think 11-2, 6-1. I think it's thievery, really. I actually just think he wins.
Okay. I'm going to ask you now. I'm going to ask everyone this, Matty, but as soon as you went first, I need you 1, 2, 3, please.
At Plutar.
Yeah.
Brave Man's Game.
Yeah.
And depending on ground, if it stays good ground, I think Hewitt could run into a place.
Really?
If the rain comes, oh, you're testing me now.
I'll put you down for Hewitt.
Yeah, maybe Galopin Des Champs finish third.
Okay. Okay. Dawn, over to you. I need you 1, 2, 3. You obviously think Galopin Des Champs is going to stay, I presume.
Oh, stay all day, Joe. And do you know he's the only horse in the Weatherby's book as black? They say there's no such thing, the same way they say there's no such thing as a white horse. He's actually down in his passport as black. His dad lives in Sardinia. That Irish Gold Cup performance, he had so much left in the tank. Mr. Legs 11, his John Durkin performance, he was gorgeous. He was everything you'd want and more. And hopefully if he does win, we're not going to have an album photo situation where we're going to go, yeah, he's great, he's a Gold Cup horse, but there's something. And I've never seen so many people, and we had so many people from your side of the pond and our side of the pond split about him after his performance at Dublin Racing Festival. I wasn't split at all. I wasn't split before Christmas after the John Durkin. I wasn't split last year. Yeah, okay. Will he have a bit of PTSD, or do we go with what Jamie Snowden says he won't remember? Maybe he won't remember. So you're asking for 1, 2, 3. I'm Ewick is a freak. My feed man's son bred Ewick down the road. He was an €800 purchase. Shark has told us time and time again he was going to win. He's going to win this. He's going to win that. He said he'd win Sandown. He won Sandown. He said he was going to win at Galway. He won at Galway. He told him he was going to win in America. He won in America. Are we going to be stupid and ignore him at 20-1 if the ground comes up the way it does? No, we're not. This horse is like Denoli. Do you know that way? We love him as much as we loved Denoli. Conflated, I'll just touch on. He's a Yates. He missed Dublin Racing Festival. Last year didn't go his way. He should be there in the mix as well, the way Gordon's speaking about him. He's 12-1. The head's right now. Brave Man's Game. Oh my God, he is like an Instagram filter. He is gorgeous. He's absolutely gorgeous. And John Dance loves him as much as I do. I can't forget Weatherby, and I really can't forget when he won the King George now last year. I thought that was fantastic. So you want my 1, 2, 3. Oh crap. Galopin des Champs, Brave Man's Game. If the weather is good, Ewick. If the weather is a bog, Conflated.
Okay. Before we move on to you, Jay, my 3 would be on with Matty. He's covered it all. I think Aputan is a great bet. 11, what is he? 11 to 2, something like that, 6 to 1.
I think 11 to 2 probably worst price. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all over him. Again, like Dawn and Matty, I think Brave Man's Game is going to be a close second. I just think the way he jumps, it's going to take him so far in the race, and I do think he will stay. The jumping is just an asset to have. In third, I'm going to go with Capodanno if he runs. He's a former Grade 1 winner over 3 mile. He won the novice chase at Punchestown last year. He was 4th in last year's Browns. He's winning hurdle over 3 miles. His seasonal debut over an inadequate trip, I thought it was very good. If he runs here, I think he's got a fantastic each way chance. And this is only tongue in cheek, but he's gone the Willie Mullins route of having one run and then running the Gold Cup like Alpine Photo did twice. So yeah, Capodanno for me to third place. Now, Jay, I know what you're going to say about Galopin des Champs. I'm in agreement with you. I don't think he'll stay. Do you?
No, Joe, this race is just giving me like nearly a mental breakdown every time I look at it. Every single time. It's like, even for about 3 days, I was coming around for the idea of Brave Man's Game. Then I woke up another day and just thought, no, he won't. I actually agree with you there with Capodanno, though, you know. I think he's more likely to come here than he will go with Grand National as a 7-year-old. He was a decent novice chaser last season. Don't think he got the rub of the green at all. I don't think he's got a too dissimilar profile to Albumin Photo when he first won his first goal.
Pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah, I do think he could be a little bit under the radar, and his JP's only Gold Cup entry. That run last time, it was literally just a blow the cobwebs away run, wasn't it? He wasn't overly hard on it. It was a trip too short. I think he'll be one of them when he goes 3 mile, 2.5 furlongs. I think his form will just exceed, I think, what he's done previously. I think he's a proper dark horse at 33s, and I think he'll be more than half of that on the day. I've got a feeling there'll be a bit of money for him. And I'll just when you go through the runners, like Galopin des Champs, I think he might be a bit like Might Bite, the horse with all the class, but when it really gets nitty-gritty, just won't have it in the final so many 100 yards when he really needs it. I thought he was good at the line, to be honest, in the Irish Gold Cup at Dublin Racing Festival, but I mean, Tannen's had the luxury there of sitting behind Fury Road as long as he wanted and then just quicken and past them. He's not going to get that in a Gold Cup, and that is also at the back of my mind. If you're backing a horse at 7 to 4 for a Gold Cup, Corto Star, when he was winning Gold Cups, he was around 7 to 4 on prices like that, and you know, you'd had a lot more in your favour with him. You knew what you was getting with him. I do think he's talent-wise the most talented horse in the field, but I just couldn't back a horse who I don't think could stay at that price. Brave Man's Game is saying it. I think his jumping's fantastic. It's gonna keep him there for as long as. But then he's another one just coming up that hill. Will he keep going? Will he really find for pressure? I know we did in the King George, but then I'll go back to that run against Bob Ollinger. I know Nicholas is saying he's a different horse and he's stronger and stuff, but to me, he just didn't seem to like the undulations of Cheltenham, and some horses are just like that. So I couldn't really want to be backing him. Aplutard, usual, I like him, but that Haydock run a lot went wrong for him, and then he's not been seen since, so couldn't be backing him at that short either. It's like, as you just work down the list, you just find them faults with them all.
See where you're going with this.
What?
I can see where you're going with this.
Honestly, and then the more you get down, it's in the Capodanno, and I thought he's actually the one with loads of upside to him. I'd like Capodanno each way, mate.
Yeah. I actually thought you'd fancy a Hoy Senor.
I think he'll be in the 3. I just don't know whether he is actually good enough to win a Gold Cup.
So you're...
No problem with him saying though, Joey, I think he'll be fine, but then he's a bit of a nutter then, isn't he?
So if I was pushed for a 1, 2, 3, who would you say?
I'd probably go Capodanno.
Yeah.
This in no particular order. I'm not brave enough to go for a straight cast. Capodanno, Ahoy Senor, and Conflated.
Nice.
Are we forgetting about Noble Yates?
I don't think he's good.
Peter's back on. I could see him. Running well as well, but I don't know.
I
No,
think
he's
more
staying.
Grand National for me. I don't think he'll do the both. I don't. I prefer him for Aintree again.
You know
No,
what?
he's
What was weird in that race with Ahoy Senor, he didn't really look like a horse who handled Cheltenham. And then I watched the Ultimate back, and he looked a bit awkward. And out on a different course at Cheltenham, but he looked a bit awkward there as well. I mean, that's probably just me overthinking stuff, but I don't know. This race is an absolute headache for me. I'll be glad when it's over.
The good thing is as well, like the one thing I'll say with Ewick, and if the weather comes up right, and Jordan Gainsford and that, we're all worrying about, oh, somebody could win the Gold Cup and it'll be taken off them. When Jordan won over in America, he wasn't allowed to use his stick. Same with Davy Russell. So they'd be well used to this as well. Whereas the jockey on Noble Yates, I'd be a little bit worried about that he could win and it might be taken off. That's just amusings of mine. Not that I'm digging anybody out, but Jordan will be fine anyway. Not a bother to him.
Can we all agree Statler's just too slow?
He's a head scratcher.
Yeah,
He
I'd
really
say.
is a head scratcher.
Don't think he's very good at all, me Statler.
I loved him last year. Nace, when he hacked up at Nace, I loved him. And then when he spat the dummy out behind Manila Indo at Christmas, I just went, you're always going to be an almost, a bridesmaid. But I like him as a horse, but I think you're looking at seconditis there, or third.
I think with the Gold Cup these days, you've got to have a bit of boot as well, haven't you?
And that's why I think Noble Yates.
No, I can't see him.
Finished that Aintree. That day when I was at Aintree when he won, it was like a bloody 6 furlong sprint to the speed at the line.
Yeah, but I can't see him repeating that at Cheltenham at the Hill. Can you?
But then on the flip side of that though, if you watch him in the Grand National last year, jumping the first 3 fences, you're getting pushed along to go with them. So it's like I don't think he's all there in the head either, to be honest.
He's typical Yates. Those Yateses are funny, fiddly like Yates himself. They're weirdos. But if you have them the right way, they'll give you everything. But they are weirdos.
Got to take a lot of effort to get them to go, but when they go,
absolutely. The cheek pieces always help. And the women are worse.
So the Gold Cup is behind us. We're in the Fox Hunters now. And I don't know if you're all fans of this race or not. Heartbreak for me last year because I was on wing leader. I can't believe he got picked up, but he's back for more. 6-1. I think he's a great chance of going one better. Also, I know Jay's going to laugh. Brain Power's got an entry here.
This has got to be the first time ever an American Grand National winner has ever run in the Fox Hunters at Cheltenham. Ever. Never going to happen again, is it?
No.
History made.
20-1 for Warren Ewing. A bit romantic, like Dawn was a romantic bet. You've got to have a little bet on Brain Power. I mean, he's 1 and 6 at Cheltenham, but if the ground is decent, I'd love to see him whip around here. Superb, 20-1. But wing leader would be my main selection to go one better than last year. Jay, you're a fan of the Fox Hunters?
I haven't really got a strong opinion on it. As a race, it wouldn't be one of my races I'd look forward to. I had a little quick look through this morning though. I actually wouldn't mind a little interest bet on Go Geronimo, Kelly Morgan's. Since joining her yard, he's bolted up in 2 points. And then she's had Topwood in the past, placed in this race twice. I think 20-1 is a little bit of interest. I think that's a horse that could probably go well.
Okay, and that's Chris's Dreams in here as well.
Yeah, seen that. A few of the old has-beens in this, isn't he, Joe?
Yeah, there is, yeah.
As well.
Yeah, Bob and Co's back for another go. Now with Harry Durham, we'll see. But
Bob and Co, yeah.
We're going to get a petition going, Matty, to get you riding in this race next year.
Yes, yes.
Oh, God.
If you were riding it this year, Matty, you had a choice of all the runners. Who are you riding?
I like the 5. I mean, is it Vosselet or Vosselet, wherever you...
Yeah.
It's obviously done nothing wrong. it's not a race Jay, I don't mind the race, but it's not a race I take major interest in. I also thought Secret Investor could run a nice big race for Paul Nicholls.
Yeah, is daughter riding that?
Olive's going to ride it, yeah. I've seen Olive ride a few point winners when I've been pointing recently. She's more than capable. But Secret Investor's got good form with one of our horses going back into novice hurdle days. So, yeah, I think so if I could ride one, it'd be Secret Investor, just for the English. But I think Voslet or whatever you call it, I think that'll win.
Yeah,
Who's going to ride the Maxwell horses in this?
Is he not? Is he not back fit?
Is he back fit? Is he?
I think so. I did hear the other day. I can't remember who it was. There is a jockey book for the other one, but I can't remember who it was.
I hope he is back because he adds a little extra layer of intrigue to the race, doesn't he? I always like watching Maxwell, mate.
He's great. He's great entertainment. Imagine if he wins.
Remember he beat Bellaway at Puncher's Town?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was amazing.
Ripped that like a prime Ruby Walsh, didn't he?
Better, Jay, better.
It's not the type of race that if you've done the absolute nuts on the Gold Cup and you're looking for some money back, you look at the car and you see the Fox Hunters, you just like
you go get a drink to the bar.
Yeah. Dawn, I see last year's winner is actually 8-1, Billaway.
I know, and he's tasty at 8-1, Joe. I mean, like, look, okay, Nace, people were perplexed, but he was winning 4 on the bounce. Paddy had to get behind him and ride him hard. But Billaway, he seems to make a lot of mistakes, but he's still able to do it. And like, he's been second in this twice. I was very bemused about his season debut behind Ferns Lock. I know Ferns Lock, David Christie has said he's too young this year to go, but he is exciting, very exciting. He actually bought Ferns Lock when he was over with Winged Leader last year, so he bought him from the Cheltenham. But I'm talking about future horses here. But Billaway at 8-1. Patrick will not leave him alone in this anyway. You know, he's going to want him there or thereabouts. So I think he's nice at 8-1. Now I'm going to go with my romantic bit. He's been hacking up in point to points. He was an anniversary present to Mrs. Sloan. The storyteller is back out. He's 16-1. Georgie Benson has been winning on him, and Georgie Benson was Apple's Jade's groom. She also rode a horse for us. She's the loveliest girl, and if she gets up on him, the two of them together are dream team stuff. He was second in a pre-tomps, and he was 5th in a stayers. He was second in the Irish Gold Cup, and he was given with love. And so my romantic bet is Darling Storyteller at 16-1. He was part of my glorious 3-way Delta Work Shattered Love and the Storyteller 2018. Fantastic, the most money I've ever won. So I always have stuck with him. So the Storyteller for the romance and love, and Billaway to win or to be there or thereabouts.
Just on that there, sorry. I don't think there's going to be one horse running at Cheltenham all week who will need the whip more than Billaway. And obviously with the new whip rules and stuff, I think Patrick Mullen's going to really be tested on that one.
Definitely. If last year's anything to go by, it's cert, isn't it?
Yeah.
Should have got him a trip over to America, bought him a plane ticket. That would have sorted him.
The newest race on of the week, the Mayor's Chase, quite a short price favourite here, 13-8, Allegro de Vassi. Matty, it looks a very good race on paper, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks a very good race. Obviously, you've got the likes of Ellie May and stuff in it. But I think this is the new girl on the block. Allegro de Vassi. I think she's got a touch of star quality about her. I could see her running against the boys come next year, maybe. I think she's one of the bankers of the week.
Really?
I think she's one of the bankers of the week, yeah. I think she'll take a lot of beating.
Waiting tour from Matty there. Do you agree with Matty, Jay?
I'm the other way. I like Impervious quite strongly in this. I do think it's a complete 2-horse race. Matty's probably right. Allegory Devassi probably does that more naturally talented. But I think if you're having a bet on her, she'll have your heart racing the way she goes with some of her fences. She hasn't quite looked a natural so far, although she's managed to stand on her feet and do whatever. I just think that Impervious is a much safer ride, safer bet, and I think she'd just be creeping into it. And there was talk of her running in the Turners at one stage. I think Imperius is a very good horse, and I do probably, there's not much in the market, but I'd probably have Imperius just favour over Allegory Devassi, and the fact you can get 2-1, 9-4 for her, that'll do me. If my day is going bad, I'll be able to get a bit back in on Imperius, I reckon.
At the start of the season, I was sweet on another JP horse, obviously before he purchased Imperius, Dino Blue. She'd been beaten by Imperius, only 2 lengths. It wasn't a bad run. Then she was beaten by Magic Days. Again, it wasn't a bad run. She's entered in the Grand Annual and this, but now she's out to 40-1. I think a 2-length defeat to Imperius. It's not the worst form in the field by a long shot. And if she was to line for 40-1, I'd definitely be having a bit of her. And Dawn, obviously, we spoke about Dina Blue all season, but you're a fan of the favourite as well, aren't you? Allegory Devassi?
Oh, I love Allegory Devassi, and they were so harsh on her after Turles. Like, you've got 2 19-length wins there, and when she won at Limerick, she was ahead of Melina's Girl. Melina's Girl is no scrub and brush either. She's Gavin Cromwell. She was 3rd at Cheltenham, and she also won at Fairyhouse. And Fairyhouse before Christmas, well, the start of December, is not easy to win at. She's beaten Brandy Love. That day at Turles, yes, she did make a mistake at the first. She gets lonely. We've said this. She gets lonely. She needs something to cover. And I think Impervious will do that. I think it's going to be like Katie Taylor and Serrano together, even though that's never happening now. But thank God we've got Impervious and Allegory Devassi together. Is it the JP factor that everybody is now fascinated with Impervious? Is it the great comeback of Colin Murphy? You know, you talk about special tiara days with him. He was asked on Nick Luck's podcast, if there was no mares, where would Impervious go? He said she'd be in the champion hurdle, which, you know, that's strong words. She has bet boys, Impervious. So, I mean, she's got that little bit of an advantage over Allegory Devassi. Scarlet and Dove, I think, would have been more value, but there's no point in talking about her. She's not in it. We always talk about that race at Fairyhouse, which set up beautifully for us. You know, you had Brandy Love winning it, Envoy. Love Envoy was 2nd. Your Dino Blue was 4th. Night and Day was 9th. And we see what Night and Day is doing, and probably will do something close at Cheltenham. So it's the 2 girls and the rest. I understand the Impervious point of view. She was 6th there last year in the novice, but I'm sticking with the lady who is all butch. I agree with you for each way play, Joe. Dino Blue is much too large if she goes in this, but it's Allegory Devassi, and we're going to have some race between the 2 girls. They're going to be brilliant together. It's probably going to be one of the races of the week, but I'm with Matty on this. Allegory Devassi, she's just too good. Too good.
Good race. So the final race of the day and the final race of the week, Martin Pipe. Is it safe to say, Jay, that this is going back to Ireland?
Yeah, I mean, they're dominating the head of the market, aren't they? I don't like Spanish Harlem at all, though. I think he's absolutely useless, if I'm being totally honest. I think a lot of people are hoping this is like a Gallop and the Champs type of horse where they try to keep him under the radar, but I don't think it's anything like that. I think the truth is he's just not very good. Can't find a selection in it, Joe, to be honest, so that's all I've got to say on that race.
I've got it between 2, and that's Imagine and Firm Footings. Same connections. I do think either of them would have a fantastic chance. I think they've been smuggled in here leniently, if that makes sense. Go on the Martin Pipe.
You've left Felix Stagey alone, have you?
He's top weight, isn't he?
You're just not going to touch him at all.
Well, it'd be the end of the week, won't it? If I'm having a bad week, then might have to have a little dabble on him just in case.
Well, his stablemate, Imagine, I really like 6-1, and second to we spoke about Hunter's Yarn, so you've got that nice little bit of form there. I think he's been set up nicely for this. His run at Gowran, he was very unlucky. He should have won that. His bumper debut back in February 2022, really good. Gordon's always very eager to win the Martin Pipe, and understandably so. And I think Imagine he's 6-1, but he deserves to be 6-1. A bigger price, and I always keep the faith, and it's an English horse, Comprond, merely because I stood in 12 inches of rain looking at him at Punchestown. He's won twice at Cheltenham in 2021. He wasn't disgraced, 8th in Musselburgh. That's his last run. I like him at 16-1. He's worth looking at. He was 4th here last year to Commander of Fleet in the Coral, so I like him. But sense says Imagine, and never giving up on something says Comprond. So if you want value, Comprond, but Imagine to finish off what will be an incredible week.
Okay, I just want to touch on the second horse in the weights, Jay. We spoke about him on the phone. Mai Tai. How did you describe the ride last time out?
Just think he's going to be one of them frustrating horses wherever he runs, Joe. To be honest, he's just an annoying horse, isn't he? He's got talent, but he just doesn't seem to. I don't know whether it just doesn't seem to click for him, or he just doesn't make it click.
Yeah, he's 14-1.
The amount of times he's come second or third in races where you look at him and think, sure, he's got to have a good chance there, but for whatever reason, he just seems to find one too good when you think he should be winning them.
Yeah.
I think with him as well, probably coming up against Constitutional so early on in his life, I think that's probably been in the back of people's memories when they've been fancying him for these races going forward. But got to remember now that was December 21, now March 23, and I don't think he's won a race since. So sometimes it's time to let these horses go, and he's not even getting. He seems to be going up the weights for losing. He's off a clear high mark now, so he wouldn't be one for me either.
Okay, Matty, final call. Over to you. What's that face for?
It's a race that I never do well in. Obviously, Banbridge won it last year. You know what I think of Banbridge.
Yeah.
Quinter ran in the race last year, and he sat upside Banbridge the whole way round, and then that pesky Langadan loose carried Quinter halfway round Prestbury. So, but I am going to choose Langadan this year.
No.
I just think Redemption, maybe Redemption will, after how much he annoyed me last year at Cheltenham, carrying Quinter 8-10 wide running down the hill, and I'm hoping he can repay me by winning this.
Okay.
Obviously, there was big hype about him last year and how well handicapped he was. And considering that the handicap has been quite nice to him this year in Langadan, they dropped him a lot more than I thought they would, just on the basis that they thought it was an absolute certainty in the race last year. I think he's about, was he 9-10-1?
Yeah.
It's not a strong fancy. I'm just hoping he can pay me back after breaking my heart last year, because Luca and what was the lad who rode Banbridge last year?
Yeah.
Oh, Martin
Mark McDonough.
McDonough.
Mark McDonough. So
Yeah.
Luca and Mark McDonough had a chat on the way around, and they were upside saying one of us will win this race because we're going so slow for a Martin Pipe. Turns out Banbridge won, and we got carried halfway down towards Gloucester, whatever we did. But so yeah, I'm just gonna stick with Langadan. I hope the English can wrap up the last race of the festival.
And the Prestbury Cup.
I think we're clutching at straws there, Joe.
Yes.
But yeah, it's not a race I have a strong opinion on. I've never done well in the race. And Languedown upset me this year, so hopefully he can make me happy this year.
Okay. Okay, so that concludes our Racing Social Day 4 preview and the Cheltenham Festival preview. If you haven't seen them, go watch days 1, 2, 3, and then finish up with day 4, which is what we're on now. Everyone, thank you once again. Have a great week, viewers. Have a great week, team. We'll see you all Tuesday and look forward to Aintree in the distance. Hopefully we'll have some more guests on and top content. So thanks again.